Hello again, RoyZesch.REALTOR here with Coldwell Banker Legacy in San Angelo. Today I want to talk to you a little bit more about contingency offers. I discussed them a little bit in an earlier video, but I want to get a little more in depth. So a contingency offer is basically where you go, a buyer goes to the seller and says, hey, we will buy your house under these terms and conditions, this price, this date, all these things, if something else happens first. Generally that if is the sale of another property, but not always. So you can actually do it contingent on you winning the lottery, but their seller is probably not very likely to take that kind of a deal. So again, generally it's the sale of a house. So you own a house, you're ready to buy another house, but you can't afford to take the risk on owning two houses at the same time. There's ways you can actually get it done, but there's always a risk to it because you could end up with two mortgages for a period of time, and that may be more than you can afford or more than the risk you're willing to take. So you go to the seller and say, hey, we will buy your house if we sell our house by such and such date. So now the seller is going to consider this as a very weak offer, but depending on what other offers they got and how everything works, it may work, and it may be what you have to do in this situation. So that's basically what happens. But what happens on the other end is, so the seller does decide, okay, we're willing to take the chance on it. We accept your offer. So they accept your offer. But then 15, 20, 30 days later, before your house is sold, they get another offer that doesn't have a contingency offer on it. So what they do now is they come back to you and say, okay, we have another offer. We would like to take this offer, but yours is in place with the contingency. You have to either take the contingency off of your offer, which means you commit to buy the house, or we will put the other offer, we will be able to accept the other offer. And then you have a choice. You can either take the risk of owning two at the same time and say, no, there's no more contingency on our offer, or you lose out, basically. So there's a risk to you. And it's also a little bit of a risk to the seller, because when it's under contract with the contingency, it shows up in our multiple listing service that way. So other agents are kind of leery of taking their clients to it and showing them. So it's almost like if you're a seller, you're taking your house sort of off the market, but not totally. If somebody really says, ooh, that's the house I want, they're probably going to go ahead with it. But if they're kind of, well, this is on our list of 5, but let's look at these other 4 first, it's probably what will happen. So there's a negative to the seller as well. So what can you do? I mean, obviously sometimes this is a situation you can't avoid. So you want to know what you can do to increase the chances of it working for you. The biggest thing is have your house on the market first. It's even better if it's under contract, or at least in negotiations. You've had an offer and you're negotiating back and forth. You think you're going to be able to come to terms with them. That's a stronger time to go and make a contingency offer than, hey, as soon as we make this contingency offer, we're going to get our house ready, put it on the market, and hopefully it'll sell in 2 weeks. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. So there's a lot more risk to the seller that way. So you're trying to present your offer in a good light. So one of the things you want to do with that is have your house prepared, on the market, again, ideally under contract or almost under contract. And when you do that, it gives the seller a lot more confidence that your contingency offer will actually happen. So anyway, there's a lot of risk to both parties, and basically there's a lot of chances you may miss out on the house you really wanted because you had to make a contingency offer. But on the other hand, if you've ever sat there with 2 mortgages for a period of time, you know how bad the other side can be, and that's a situation you don't want to be in unless you can afford to. I mean, there's people that for various reasons can afford to be in that situation, and that's okay. But if you can't, don't stretch yourself so thin that all of a sudden you're making 2 mortgage payments and can't make the car payment, can't make the grocery payment, can't make whatever else you need to be paying on. So just enter into it very cautiously, but realize that when you make an offer with contingency, that is necessarily a weaker offer than almost any other offer that will come in. So if there's not a lot of activity on the house, you may get it done, and hopefully you've got a house that sells quickly and easily and everything works out real well. So it can work out, and again, sometimes it's what you have to do, but just be aware of the things you can do to make your position better, and that's basically be almost under contract, or at least on the market actively. Said, okay, we've been on the market 10 days and had 12, 15 showings. Everything's looking good. We've had 2 offers, which we turned down, whatever, something like that. So any more questions, give me a call. RoyZesch.REALTOR, 325-268-0775. Thank you.